My name is Delante Murphy, and I'm the CEO of D2 Music Management, where I manage such recording artists as Trey, Songz, very popular R&B artist, music producer Troy Taylor, Grammy Award-winning writer and producer Gordon Chambers, my new artist Red Stylez, who's really big on YouTube and MySpace. I have a slew of emails, really great young producer, as well as Soul Keys, SK. All these guys are working guys in the music industry. How did I get started in the music industry? Honestly, I don't really exactly remember how I got started in the music industry because unlike some people, it's something I wanted to do all my life. So I just remember being like 6 or 7 and seeing a show called Kids Incorporated, and something came up. Like I was like, when I saw the show, I was like, wow, like they singing and dancing. I want to do that too, and I could do it. And they had an album or a cassette tape that they showed. You could buy this cassette tape. So I wrote them this long letter. I think after the letter, I even put what you call the little zip notes, the little yellow pads. I even put those in the back. Please, please, please consider me. And who knew I was writing to the people that you're supposed to buy the CD from, not the actual company or the casting director. But that was my resurrection of I want to be in the music industry. And then from there, pretty much anything to do with music, I surrounded myself with. Played trumpet, piano, guitar. Started playing with the guitar, drums, producing local acts. Maneuver my way into performing arts high school. I can't really sing. That was my major, and I just knew I wanted to do it. So I guess the mind is stronger than anything else, and I got in and just always put myself in that position. Honestly, I think during my high school years in the performing arts, I had a teacher named Mary Cole, and a lot of times she was just a out honest, very, very overly honest teacher. She was just straight from the hip. And she said one day in class, she said, out of all the people here who has this dramatic talent of being able to sing, opera, dance, whatever, she was like, Delante's going to be the one that you're going to hear about 20 or 30 years from now, probably in the business side of doing the music industry or whatever. So once she said that, I started kind of looking at myself and saying, I'm not a star, I'm not as talented as the person sitting next to me. But because I have went through the training of what they have to go through, I can relate to them as far as taking their career to the other level. So I'm gonna admit, through the years, especially in college, there's been times when I had talented people around me where at a certain point, I think people started looking at me like that because I started producing again and writing songs and producing local artists, and they was like, well, we want to manage you. And I was like, and who knows? I could have been that big music producer. I don't know, but I think I've went the right way by nurturing everybody else. So that's how I fell into that. And I think I had a production company before anybody knew what a production company was. Like when it was the buzzword, like, I remember my friends like, what's a production company? This is like in 86, 87, in middle school, high school. But, so that's how I got into it. I managed Troy Taylor. And when I started managing Troy Taylor, he said, man, I got a guy, this young kid who I think is special. And I've been working with him since he was 15. She said, but I'm going to introduce him when I think he's ready for that part. Then maybe 8 months later, he introduced me to the young man. And I was like, okay, the guy was a good looking guy, had a lot of what the buzzword is, swag, and a great smile. And he seemed cool. And I was like, all right. I was like, hey, tell you what, get me 5 songs that I love. Just do 5 songs that I love, and then I will help you. And he came back within a week and a half with 10 songs that I absolutely love, and I had him a record deal within 6 months. Just always putting myself around it and in it, God has blessed me with being able to speak, so I'm always like, I think sometimes, especially in what we do, it's a difference between bragging, boasting, or just saying what you do all the time, and it's kind of like a really fine line you gotta walk. I believe that if you don't open your mouth and say, I do this, you know what I mean? This is what I do. Within you meeting somebody, it's 6 degrees of separation. And I always believe that. So I always say, hey, how you doing? What you do? Oh, yeah, I do with music. I'm trying to do this, do that. And then, doors will open up. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much how I maneuver my way around. I worked for Teddy Riley. When I went to Hampton, University. That's where I graduated from. But I only went to Hampton University for 2 reasons. 1, there was a pretty girl in my high school that was crying because she couldn't get in. She got rejected. 2, I knew Teddy Riley just moved to Virginia Beach, and Hampton was 20 minutes from there. So I wanted to work with Teddy Riley. I knew this girl was one of the smart girls that I kind of paced myself in class to make sure I was up to her grades and everything else. So I went. and my goal was to meet Teddy Riley. I met Teddy Riley, and over the next 4 years, I ended up working for him and becoming one of the youngest executives, probably next to Puff, in music history. Like, I became a VP at 21 of marketing and promotion. I met Teddy Riley. Teddy actually came to me in some sense. It was a friend of mine who did a student movie, on the DL, and there was a celebrity basketball game. And believe it or not, at this celebrity basketball game was Puffy before we knew him as Puffy. I mean, P. Diddy. He was just Puffy at Uptown A&R with Jodeci and Mary, I think was just about to come out. And Teddy Riley came up there just to kick it at the game. So I walked up to him, and I went to the DJ, and we did original soundtrack to this movie. And I'm like a freshman, sophomore in college. And I went to the DJ and said, play this record right now. The DJ played it. Then I walked over to Teddy and was like, yo, hey, Teddy, how you doing? Yeah, I did stick my hand out. Hi, I'm Delante. I'm a student here. I have my own production company. We just did a student movie, and we do music, too. And I was like, oh, yeah. He was like, oh, yeah, you know the regular. Oh, yeah, good kid. And I was like, but listen, the song that's on right now is the song that one of the original songs from the soundtrack that we did that I think is a smash. And he actually, the thing about Teddy Riley, out of any other music producers I know, if you point out music, he's gonna listen, even if you think he's not listening, because he was just so hungry to just still be huge. And he listened and was like, that's hot. He was like, hey, come by my studio tomorrow. That is how I met Teddy Riley. Yeah, you gotta go get what you want. You can't wait for nobody to hand you nothing. You have to go and don't be afraid of rejection. You go, you ask, and if the person say no, okay, great, I keep it moving. It's nothing personal, and that's still a business contact, because if they see you go up and they see that you came to them and asked, you'll see them again and you'll be able to do business. You could not be in the music industry in this day and age with people not really buying CDs anymore without being a business savvy, super internet savvy person. You have to know, by the time, anybody who's in college now, and I'm sure they know what the MySpaces and the YouTubes, and there's a whole nother thing that's about to come out, like Say Now and Do It Now and all these different things. So as soon as they get old, there's something else popping up that's new. You have to stay on the internet and figure out how you can connect all these pages and flow charts, these flows of people coming on, to figure out how to get them to know that you're alive, that you have a product, and that that it's for sale. Yeah. You know what I mean? And the thing about that is content. Content. I mean, unfortunately, with the music industry and the way television is, or reality shows, the people who are really look at the music industry now. You got Puffy that has to drop a video blog every freaking day almost on his blog saying, this is Puffy, I'm getting on a plane. It's almost like reality television linked on a website. And then the music and everything is an offshoot of that now. 50 Cent. This is 50.com. I mean, that's bigger than he is at this exact moment. I mean, even though it's him, it's like, okay, we know we're going to see something on that. So that's really where it's got to. It's just, What we did with Trey, which helped us with the internet, is that Trey was doing a lot of mixtapes, a lot of covers, and kind of just redoing people's songs, and was like, okay, I'll just put this out on the internet into mixtapes and stuff like that. So that's what created his huge fan base. That's what created his huge fan base. We just flooded the internet with just free songs of other people's songs that was out, maybe a couple of originals here and there, and just kept it going. And he does a lot of shows, so there's a lot of footage and video footage, people. We came at an interesting time. Like in 2005, the internet wasn't as a major monster as it is now, but since he kind of grew up with the time change, Trey probably going to Guinness Book of World Records, I'm pretty sure. Now let's Lil Wayne beat him as the most artists with the most features with different artists, different type of artists. One of the things I did different with him is that not only did I have him do features with rappers and other singers in America, I went to Japan, and there's a lady over there named Ai. She's huge in Japan. She's kind of like the Japanese version of Mary J. Blige or something. Yeah, her name is Ai, if you want to look on the internet. And I had him do a song with her on her album, and because we did the song, they were like, most American artists don't like to do features with artists overseas because they don't really understand it. But because you did it, we ended up on the Japan MTV Awards. Really? Yeah, doing this song with her, which made Trey, we go to Japan and there's trucks driving around with his face on it. And that opened up whatever. I went to Mexico City, did a song with Maria Jose. She was in this huge pop group. I forgot the name of the pop group in Mexico, so she was huge, and this was her first solo album, and we was on that. That album sold great for Mexico, and he has her first single, and they got a video and all that. We done video with Drake. He was in Canada. He's on Degrassi High. Light-skinned kid in a wheelchair on the show. Well, we did a song with him. He did a video. It got real great in Canada, and now he signed to Lil Wayne. And Lil Wayne's rapped one of his verses on the MTV Awards recently, and said, "Hey, shouted him out." So just we don't care where it come from. We're going to Sweden in about a couple of weeks to do a video with a Sweden rap artist that we did it. So I try to just go all over the world so I can just somehow pull them all together to come back and buy it. And that's where the internet is so strong, because more so than the CD, I just need them to be able to be aware that his album is coming out and have them go to iTunes or whatever they need to go to purchase it instantly. It's immediate gratification. So you have to time it perfectly. I mean, people was putting up free stuff on MySpace, and that's actually what's been killing all the sales, because I go on and ask the little kids, look, how did you hear this song? And they'd be like, oh, it's on so-and-so's MySpace page. You have people that have their computers hooked up to their stereo systems or these great speakers, and if they want to hear the song, instead of buying it, if they're not going to put it in their iPod, they'll just go to somebody's MySpace who has it up there and just go back to that page over and over and over again. And not unless they feel it's so infectious that they got to have it on their iPod. And then what they do, all you have to do is type in an artist's name and go to Zshare, and you download it for free. I mean, I did it the other day to myself. I was like, I don't even have this Trey Songz freestyle. Let me try this. And I typed it, and I downloaded it right to my computer for free on Zshare.
Are you going to sue yourself now?
I should, but I thought that was quite interesting that you could type in any song and find it. It ain't even like you got to search for it no more, like on Boxed-In or any of these pirate sites. You just type in the name of the song, and it comes up. Atlantic Records have definitely stuck with us in developing him as an artist. And, most record companies now can't afford to do that. Like to say, okay, I'm going to go 3 albums in with this guy. You'll sign you for 6, but we know we're going to go and promote for 3 albums because we know that we want to establish a brand and have it grow. You have to invest in that, whatever the labels are going to be. I think the labels are going to merge and be more internet companies. They're not going to be labels in what we know of them in the past. They're going to be internet companies, probably one floor, a loft. You'll have a digital, you'll have an art department. The CEO will probably sit in a corner office. It'll just be probably 3 times the size of where we sitting at now, and maybe a conference room, and that's it. And it'll be all up, because guess what? Most people recording albums in their house. Record your album in your house, your home studio, right? I give you a little budget, whatever, you want to get some new equipment. You could just send me or upload the tracks to me. We'll find a secure way to do that so it won't get, stolen. And then all I got to do is say, send me a picture or do a photo shoot. The guy across the desk from me does the little editing. He emails it back to me, even though I'm sitting next to him, and I put it instantly up on the internet, your new album, your new single, whatever. Then you got your radio department that you have for the radio, people in the cars. That's it. I don't think, I think it's going to be an internet/label. I think this MySpace thing is going to be the first, because now what I love about it, if Trey got 600,000 to 700,000 MySpace friends, he could instantly go in there and say, buy my album right now. Buy right now. And somebody can go, okay, I'm gonna buy right now. Before they could, because they come to his page, now we can send out blogs and they could go on there and buy it. And if that counts as a sound scan, then we should be looking way better than, great for T.I. He comes out Tuesday, and hopefully this would be like one of the first albums since it went up to see how it affects his sales. You have to look at numbers and say, let's say for instance, Trey last album scanned 300-something thousand, right? And, a little bit beyond what we all expected. We expected him to do at least this, end up at the end of the day, 750, whatever. But what I do know is that out of all that, I know he has 300+ thousand fans that are loyal fans that's going to support him and buy, because he constantly does shows that are sold out. So now, I think, okay, his core audience has been established, that being his second album. So I look for the long term. Now it's time to cross him over so that it's a wider range of people that would hear him. Like we're doing a Gap commercial on Monday, and the Gap commercial, which I got him in, is him, is Flo Rida, who had a huge commercial appeal but didn't sell a lot of albums, but had one of the biggest singles in history, digital history. and got him on the thing. And we have like Napoleon Dynamite. I forgot the actor's name. I think the guy Steve from The Office and 40-Year-Old Virgin. We have the Dixie Chicks. All these different type of other pop artists that are going to be trying to sing this rendition of Jingle Bells that Trey made and Flow Rider, like rapping and singing. So that'll open him up to a whole nother market. You know what I mean? Doing stuff like that. He has 2 movies. So now this is the long term. This is, okay, I know he has a core audience. We make the album a little bit more broad. We market him a little bit differently. We put him in the movies, Gap commercials, and now we grow it to the next level. But what's good is that his core audience done grown with him, so now he has those loyal fans that'll go, whatever. Now, the key thing is 300,000 records now is equivalent to 800 to 1 million records before 2004. So if you sell 1 million a day, that's the equivalent of you selling 3 to 4 to me back, before it really got out of control with the downloading. I see him as, what is the buzzword now? Multimedia artists, big presence on the internet, singing, acting, producing, all type of stuff. Like, I just see him as a multimedia. Music is just music is what he's in it, what started it all, and he's passionate about it, and that's just something that he do. It's weird, man. Entertainers are changing because of the internet. You can't be, think about it. Is Brad Pitt an actor, or is Brad Pitt a fashion icon, sex symbol? They don't pay for anything. A lot of this stuff. Maybe I'm being overzealous about it, but if Brad Pitt has on a Gucci jacket, Gucci's gonna sell out of that Gucci jacket. I'm sure they're giving it to her for free or whatever. So, I heard about $100,000 or $10,000, pacifier they have. So you're multimedia. I think they know that the paparazzi. I think they know, but I think they like that the paparazzi follows them around because, I think they give these stories just to keep them hot. Whoever's hot in that is the big dog. So you wake up and say, I want to get into this and get into that, and then you just try to use the 6 degrees of separation to make calls, tell everybody to say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. Let me know if you know somebody. And that's how you do it. That's how we did the movie thing. We have an agent, William Morris, one of the biggest agents in the world, but our movies came from our hustle. You know what I mean? They've been great. I'm not saying they haven't sent us on movie runs and auditions and everything like that, but no, we actually just connected with a smaller agent that was in there. Was like, look, man, I just want to prove myself, and then we just started just taking calls and calling everybody and doing it. Yeah, he's a monster. He's been trained the right way. It's funny, man. Sometimes you see a kid at 18, or when I met him, 17, 18, and now he's about to be 24 this year, and then I don't hide anything from my artists. I don't try to do too many secret meetings, and when I leave a meeting, I call my artist and say, this is exactly what was discussed, and this is exactly how this person or this company's feel about you. So you don't be just stars in your eyes thinking that they really love you like that, or they don't. This is what we discussed, And you sell it, and then you have to make the business decision. Trey had braids, and it was nothing wrong with the braids for a while, and you go back and they'd be like, why didn't you get that modeling contract? Which, or why did not modeling agency pick you up as another revenue stream? Well, you know what, Trey? Your braids, and braids are only going to have you in urban magazines, and you can't be on the cover a model for Ralph Lauren or Gucci with braids in your hair. So I'm not telling you to cut them. I'm just saying that realize that these are the type of things that stop you from being a multimedia artist, and whatever. So the braids came off. I didn't ask him to cut them braids. You know what I mean? So the braids come off. He goes to the gym, works out, gains 20 pounds, stop stressing, more of the street guys, start stressing more couture, and saying, you know what, I'm ready. But he's turning into a man. Yeah. So it's just the right time. Like, you know what? Cool. You know what I mean? Now all these opportunities come because he don't look offensive whatsoever. Oh, well, Troy's a music producer. He's a very great music producer. Troy's produced everybody from, from Aretha Franklin to Ron Osley to Amarion and B2K to Trey to Whitney Houston to, his discography is absolutely amazing. Like, Tyree, I can't even, I know he's been on 65 albums. 65. Stays young at heart. He what he does is, which is great about him, he nurtures these kids and teach them whoever will listen and just be loyal. He teaches them how to sing, how to produce the right way, you know, and that's what I think kept him around so long. You know what I mean? He's great, man. He's probably the best vocal producer in the music industry right now. Urban, yeah, probably the best. You know what? Atlanta is a very great music networking town, and honestly, as far as urban music, I don't know how it is for rock and everything else. There's no more industry nowhere else like here. You know, New York is dead. No one is going to New. I haven't gotten a call to go to New York to record a record in 2 years. You know. Atlanta. And I think what happened through the migration was Atlanta had a good music scene, you know, local music scene. When you think of the Jermaine Dupri's, you think of Usher being here and, you know, all the Outkast, you know, and all them people. But what happened is that a lot of the New York people who was living in New York trying to make it, maybe even people in LA were coming out here, had to come out here to do whatever, and they would see these people's houses and be like, wow, these houses are huge, and y'all living great down here. But because, you know, in New York, my rent was $2,500, but my mortgage here is $2,000. You know what I mean? It's like, owning a big house is like crazy. So I think a lot of the musicians started to say, hold on, we're going to go to Atlanta because our money goes a lot further down here, which created this huge music community, a migration. You know what I mean? And all the record company offices, for the most part, are still in New York, but all the music creators are here. So, you know, we only go to New York now to have a meeting, to do a Gap commercial, to do, you know, Fashion Week. You know, I mean, then you got Tyler Perry, who blew up down here, doing great movies, making a lot of money. So he just built, right from where we're shooting this, probably less than 10 minutes from here, his whole big movie studio. So I predict not only will it be a music capital for urban music, I think what's going to happen is it's going to become Little Hollywood, where you're going to see other film companies pop up because it's cheaper, you know, to shoot here than in LA and other spots. And I think you're going to see a whole migration of that. And I think it's going to become more of a force, not even for urban. I honestly think that the whole music industry, because you got all that talent, I think other industries are going to start to come down here and say, hold on, it's already an infrastructure. We'll just come down and expand on it. Then you remember you got Ted Turner down here, and you got the whole Turner thing. So you have, you know, when you see Tyler Perry have a show and get it on TNT, you know, on weekdays, or you see the Boondocks, the cartoons, or you see all this stuff is here in Atlanta. You know, this is where the headquarters are. So, you know, we got outlets. We're about to get an internet guy because everybody has a website now. Because everybody went to MySpace. But then what companies started to discover was an artist was like, well, I'm on MySpace, but people are advertising AT&T and all this stuff on my MySpace page. I have no control over that, and they're making stupid money and sell MySpace for $1 billion. But if it wasn't for the T.I.s, the Treys, the Chris Browns, or whoever, you know, and even on the rock side, having pages up and really uploading content, here's my concert, here's a video, here's a song, that they wouldn't have been able to get this money. So they're like, hold on, we got to go back to our URLs, our own URLs, and now we just got to do what they did. We got to put up communities where people can talk on the, people can chat and load up videos, and I want you to come to my URL so I could get AT&T money or whoever it is, and not you. What makes MySpace, Facebook, and all that stuff successful as far as the usage, I think, is because it's not branded as a particular artist brand. So I honestly think the type of website that should be developed if you're an artist is you shouldn't develop it from the standpoint that it's your website. It should be developed from the standpoint that it's just a new website for people to interact, but yet you're a big contributor to the content, even if you own it. And you're a big contributor to the content, and maybe you have the first page on there. You know what I mean? Yeah, right. And just leave it at that. That way, people don't feel like, because when 50 brand is dead, his website is dead. When Puffy's brand is dead and he's milked it to the bone, it's like his brand is dead. And you know, it's good for now. I just feel like, you know, the good thing about the internet is that people who really were fans of you and really enjoy your music and really want to know what's up, they can find you on the net now. Versus, I don't hear your record on the radio. I don't listen to the radio. Like, honestly, like, you know, I don't even know, how do I hear about me? Just from people, man. It's like word of mouth. And then, but what happens is immediate gratification, because if I hear something I like, or if I happen to flip through the stations, I can go on the internet, type in the artist's name, and and figure out when the album coming out, if it's out, get the single and keep it moving. I try to get my people to all take responsibility for themselves. You know what I mean? Like, nah, if it go wrong and you didn't want to get up in the morning and get on a flight, or you decided you didn't want to do the song and it blow up, that's on you. I'm not taking that. Me personally, you know what I mean? Nah, you didn't do it. But, you know, when I mess up, if I make a bad decision, hey, I messed up. We are human. I mean, you know, I think what's bad about artists, sometimes they're disloyal or they're, you know, if someone steals some money from you or really just not making great decisions, then you have to make a business decision. But if somebody's riding with you, you jump to another person, they don't have that bond with you to want to see you all the way through. That's why when you hear these artists saying, I jumped from this manager to this manager, this manager to this manager, but yet their career is still kind of stagnant, is because they must don't listen. Yeah. Like, you know, like, come on, I mean, who you gonna blame for Britney Spears? I mean, let's just be real. I mean, can you blame her manager? He did a great job up until till she broke down. And now she's back together, look like, so it's her fault. Yeah. She cracked up. You know what I mean? Maybe the manager should have sent her on a long vacation if he saw the signs early, but, you know, I don't know. I used to put a lot into it, but now what I do is, you know, as a manager that wanted to be an artist years and years and years ago, you have to be careful to make sure that when you're passionate about an artist and their album, that you're not trying to create your album that you never put out, right? So you gotta kind of, you know, just especially in the last two processes, you do your thing. You know what I mean? And when you get ready to present me with the music, like, consider me a stop before the record label. Create the music you want to create, because I want to know where you are as an artist, and we'll take it, and then we'll sit down and listen to it, and we'll figure out what you created, and if it's ready to go, it's ready to go. If it needs to be tweaked or where we're trying to go with the brand, then maybe we need to get these type of, you know, maybe switch some stuff out. So I'm more like, do your thing, and when you bring it to me, then it's open for scrutiny. But even if you're creating it, even if I'm around, if you're just at the studio and I got to take you to the studio, or you're recording in my house, then I'm not listening to judge anything until you ask me a comment or say, I want to play you some stuff. Then I'm open to it. Create your stuff. I took 2 vacations this year. That was my first 2 real vacations. I mean, like, going to an island and really just chilling. And I've never done it. My, you know, vacation was being off for a week and around the house, but I was always working. But I know that for just to stay healthy and not stressed out and have that, you know, the older you get older, when you're 20, 22 doing it, 23 is cool. Now I'm 34, so even though I'm not old, it's at the point where it's like, hold on, I can't think that I could go at the same pace at 22, 23 than I am at 34. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, I've taken 2 vacations this year, and I'm excited, and hopefully I might try to squeeze one more in December. So yeah. Well, the new one is Red Stylez. He's 19 years old. If you go online, if you're looking, redstylez.com with a Z at the end of Stylez. He's really like he to me is like Chris Brown / Trey Songz, where he's watched both of them, but he dances, but he has the smile, you know, he's very like, just a very well-rounded artist. I can see him being huge in movies. I can see him taking the spot where, as Chris gets older, he would be the guy to kind of step in, but kind of give you both what you like from Chris and Trey. And I met him through Troy. Troy, I've been knowing him since he was almost like a similar story like Trey almost, and just introduced me to him. And he was like, you know, I've heard about you from the Trey stuff, and I really want you to represent me or co-represent me with my, you know, with his dad or whatever. Matter of fact, that's him right there.
Is it really?
Yeah. They think they're going to get a smoothie. Can they see me? You should go get this. We'll be right back. No, we're actually still recording. Come on. We're going to go find Red Stylez. Right there, we're at Camp Keep Marketplace. This is like Black Hollywood, they call it. Like every artist, like Soulja Boy lives near here, T.I. lives near here, Ludacris lives down the street, I live here, Trey Songz. I mean, everybody is on this side of town. But we're going to walk in here. Come on. We're coming in here right now. So we was just talking about this man just right here. This is Red Stylez. So he's getting a smoothie.
What's going on?
So they want to ask you some questions and all that good stuff about your career. I know this is last minute, but this is live. This is live. So this is Red Stylez. Y'all can ask him any questions you want real quick while he get a smoothie, and then we'll finish.
Cool.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Red Stylez, REDDSTYLEZ. Just saying what's up to everybody.
Where can we find you on the internet?
My MySpace is myspace.com/RedStylez. Again, REDDSTYLEZ. And YouTube.com. That's youtube.com/RedSingsForYou. REDDSINGS. Number 4, letter U.
Nice. So how'd you get started, Red?
I got started singing in the church choir, and then I started singing in my school choir, and then ever since then, my dad's managing me. I've been talking to Troy Taylor. You guys are probably familiar with him from Trey Songz, and now I'm with Delante and the whole songbook situation. So I'm excited. It's big things coming in the future.
What kind of smoothie you getting today?
I have no idea. I've never been to this smoothie place. I've been to the one across the street, but we passed it and we're like late. So I'm gonna try and just wing it over here. So maybe Delante can help me out.
And you got any cool projects coming up?
Yeah, actually, we just finished a bunch of songs. I was down in ATL for like 6 months, I believe, and we did a bunch of songs, and it's a whole new style. It's fresh, it's young, it's fun, so I hope you guys enjoy it as much as we enjoyed making it for you guys. So.
You work on anybody fun right now?
Troy Taylor and Trey Songz. I pretty much idolized him as he was coming up, so it's crazy to be a part of the same label and the whole experience. So it's crazy how things work out.
All right, cool, Red. Thanks for letting us talk.
Appreciate you, man. Definitely.
Oh man, Red is he actually done he done sold probably over what 39, 40 something thousand singles on iTunes, between iTunes and other media markets. So he's at the point where he's just ready to break. He's just getting ready. Like this is it. Like he's you can see how he smile. We caught him off guard, but he's a very bright kid, starry kid. Very well-mannered, can dance his butt off, and now we got him his product to be right. The stuff he had on YouTube was just him just singing, and it was good, but it was like, okay, we can make you great though. You're right there, but we can make you great, and that's how we formed our relationship. Like I think he gets paid per spin on YouTube. Every stream, he gets paid. Yeah, he gets paid. So he's doing his thing. You know what I mean? Like he gets paid. He got over 2 million. So after a while, YouTube is like, okay, if you're going to keep putting up spins, if you're going to keep putting up information, then we're going to pay you to keep putting it up. Because no one goes to the record stores. I mean, I go to, where I buy CDs at? Target. Yeah, I don't go to like a record store. Besides Target, over here is DTLR. And, it's a clothing store, so if I'm buying sneakers, I happen to see the CD back there. I go, yeah, give me that CD too. So beyond that, people go on the net. I'm late because, we came from the CD era, but my artist like Trey hasn't bought a CD. I think he just mentioned the other day, the last CD he bought was American Gangster, but before that, it was like a year or two before that, he always downloaded from iTunes. I don't know if you do in-stores. Do you have to do them anymore? This is just really like real-time thinking, or do you do meet and greets and videotape them and put them on YouTube? Or do you do these meet and greets, tape it on YouTube, and you get little media cards where you give out the single for free, like a little USB stick to the kids or to the fans and say, here's my single, because you might as well not give them a CD, you might as well just give it so they can automatically put it in their computer. Now I can tell you this, I was in Jamaica. This is how the internet is that crazy. I was in Jamaica on one of them vacations, and I had a driver, and the driver drove me around Jamaica, around the island, and he was a huge Young Jeezy fan. And I heard every Young Jeezy song ever made that's ever leaked, and he featured, that I would want to hear again. And Jeezy's a friend of mine. Trey's on Jeezy's new album. I asked him, where did you get this from? We're in Jamaica. Did you buy the CD? Did you download it? Every single song I saw he has a better collection than Jeezy probably got for himself. Didn't pay for one Jeezy record. He said he go to, what's the thing that everybody go to? LimeWire. And he didn't ask me if I had any requests. What would you like to hear while I drive you around? I know and I forgot, I mentioned, I haven't heard that new something. And I know when I got back in the car, he had everything. The whole, so that to me is bad. I don't think it's going to get good though, as far as money, as far as generating income and money, again, for everybody on a major scale, until the government is going to have to take over the internet. Just like in North Korea, you can't go to North Korea and get in and go on the internet and just see what you want to see, or in China. You know what I mean? It has to become where the government has to police it and say, okay, for you to put a website up, you have to get clearance through the government to put it up. It's still freedom of speech and all that, but if there's any commerce going on, we need to know how you're doing the commerce so the government can get their money. And it was so funny, when I was in Cancun, one of my vacations this year, just want to go back to that, I went and there was a lot in the sports bar, there were Guitar Hero set up, which is so hot, which it was just a Wii, and the guitar, it was like 3 or 4 Guitar Heroes, and you just go there and just, you know, so you just playing people against all over the world. And I have not seen that nowhere in America, and when I open my bar, I want to do that, because I thought that was cool, yeah. And when I play Guitar Hero, I just want to look in the camera and say this, when I play Guitar Hero against my kids, and when we play, I get really serious. There's a lot of moving, there's a lot of kicking, there's a lot of throwing stuff to the ground, everything short of setting the Guitar Hero guitar on fire. So yeah, I can tell I'm Butter Murphy. Butter Murphy won at on Xbox. I don't know. I think I'm Butter Murphy on PlayStation too. So I have both in different rooms. But PlayStation, I'm Butter Murphy. Xbox, I'm Butter Murphy. One. That's 2 T's. BUTTA. MVRP. Hit me up anytime.
What do you see for yourself in the future?
Smoking a lot of cigars, actually. We're actually in Oscar's cigar shop, located here in Camp Creek Parkway. What's the address again? 3550. See, it's 3515 Camp Creek Parkway. See, I just drive. I'm on autopilot. I come to Oscar's and I just drive. I don't know the address. My car knows this route better than taking me home. So I come in, but they let us use this for the interview today. And actually, they got some of the finest cigars in the Southeast. Yeah, so a lot of great cigars.
Recommendations on people, cigars and shit?
Man, you know, I should take y'all in the room because it's really great. I mean, you know, do you want to go in there? Yeah, go. Oh, let's go in the cigar thing. Okay, great. All right, so I smoke cigars. That's one of my favorite pastimes. And actually, a lot of guys in the music industry here, Delante Austin has been known to smoke a great cigar. Usher smoked great cigars. I'm really into cigars. So this is actually a little small cigar when I first really started smoking. It's a Dominican cigar. What is this called? The La Flor. It's a small cigar. It's a Dominican cigar. It's you know, really it's affordable, and it's not too harsh. You know, when you smoke cigars, you gotta remember what you're looking for: harsh, fullness, whatever. This is a great cigar. You can never go wrong with Cohiba. I don't know how many they have here now because they're pretty popular. You can never go wrong with a Cohiba. They smoke really, really well, and I'm a fan of Cohiba. Cigars, they're really good. Now, there's something, I like Cubans. They're illegal in America, but I know how to get them if you need to get them. This is a nice cigar. This Cabernet series, somebody introduced me to this just the other day, so it's kind of special because I think I have them in my car. But this right here, what is this, the Cabernet series? What is this? The Perdomo Reserve cigar. This is a good cigar, and they have another one that doesn't have this color on it, and this is my favorite right now. These two right here is like my favorite. Delante Austin gave me a cigar. I think it's an 1826 cigar. I think that's the brand. It's supposed to be a super expensive cigar, and we smoked one at his house, and it was freaking awesome. Like, whew, very awesome. So those are my favorites. I mean, you know, cigar, man. Oh, Punch. My buddy told me the other day, I haven't smoked this, but he told me that Punch is like an old staple. It's like if you drink a Killian's beer or whatever the heck, or if there's a beer that you like that you know, or Lowenbrau. I mean, Lowenbrau's always going to be good. I mean, even though you don't buy Lowenbrau all the time, you drink a Lowenbrau, and somehow Lowenbrau is refreshing. And I'm just thinking about it now, and Lowenbrau is refreshing. You ever had Lowenbrau? Mm-hmm. It's refreshing, right? Yeah, like kind of cool. So he said this is kind of like the old Lowenbrau of cigars. So I'm going to try one of these probably this weekend. I'm going to try that. So that's what I like to do. I look forward to be full. I don't like it to be too strong. I like it to be I just like it to be smooth, to give me a slight, cool vibe. I don't know how to put it into words because this is, you know, something that I usually do. I invite certain people to come with me. And it's funny, I think I done made like 8 people cigar smokers because like if I'm going out on a date, sometimes I'll bring them here and be like, oh, we're going to stop after dinner, have a cigar, and then they'll try it. And then it's funny, I come back and there's another guy with her in here smoking cigars. But hey, I put on for my city, okay?